You are Locked On Bulldogs, your daily podcast on the Georgia Bulldogs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome to the Locked On Bulldogs podcast. I am Daniel.
I am Clint, and if this audio isn't fixed by now, I am going to drive on out to Oregon, pull Michael Smith out of the house to which he resides, and beat him senseless.
Yes.
This is Locked On Bulldogs here on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Today's episode is brought to you by Sonos. Sonos is the official sponsor of ESPN College Football. Go to Sonos.com to learn more. Daniel, we got a big week ahead of us.
It's a big week. It's a big time week.
Big weeks. All right. We talked about yesterday's podcast. King Kirby, we're back. King Kirby is still on the throne. We're fine.
You're right. Everything will be fine.
Everything will be fine. He's going to prove why he is King Kirby in two times this month. One, with National Signing Day coming up. And two, to kick off New Year's right against Michigan. We're going to get to Michigan later on. Okay, so that's going to come next week.
Not interested. Well, we are talking about recruiting, so there's no need to talk about Michigan. They're not really relevant in the conversation. We're talking about sort of the elite upper echelon teams in terms of recruiting.
Could you imagine a school that actively weeds out players because they're not, quote, Michigan men and have no real definition of what that means?
Listen. Another top 10 class for Michigan. So congratulations to Mark Richt and the Michigan program. It's a heck of a job they've done there. Hopefully, as Clint said, the audio is fixed. The podcast is for fans by fans. We are not gurus or insiders. We are not audio engineers.
No.
But hopefully the audio is fixed. We get a ton of all nice comments. I mean, generally all nice comments. We get a ton of comments. 95% of them are all very kind. But whenever the audio is bad, we get a ton of comments. We get your emails, we get your tweets, we get your comments on YouTube, all those things. We see them. We're working hard to try to fix it. You know who never reaches out to us when the audio is bad, Clint?
Who's that?
Longtime listeners and viewers of the show. People who've been around for a while. Look, they know. They know.
They're like, hold on, is it? Oh, it's December. Oh, okay. Now my clock's right on.
You get what you get. All right. National Signing Day, early signing day is coming up tomorrow. It's Tuesday right now. It's coming up tomorrow. Let's run down what we're going to do this week for you. Tomorrow, we're going to put out an episode, but it's going to be recorded on Tuesday night.
Correct.
And so we're not going to be able to really break down any of the signing class that comes out Wednesday morning. Technically, the episodes come out around midnight on the day of. So Thursday and Friday's episode will be a two-part episode breaking down all of the signing day coverage. John Tweet Sports is coming on. We're going to have we're just going to break down this loaded class from the University of Georgia and all around college football. So come back for that. But today, I want to kind of preview things. I want to kind of set the table for the big meal, Clint. And listen, really, there's three people who are sitting at the table. And so that's kind of where I want to start.
Because 5 need not apply.
The question is who's going to get the number one class in the country this year? And obviously that won't be decided entirely on early signing day, but it will a lot will be done towards that. Is it going to be Georgia? Is it going to be Alabama? Is it going to be Texas A&M? These are the three contenders for the number one class, Clint. And so who do you think? How do we think this is all going to shake out?
I think first and foremost, Georgia has supplanted themselves, I think, firmly, Daniel, firmly in the top three. We're not going below.
Oh, no. Yeah, okay. 100%. Those three teams, Alabama, Georgia, and Texas A&M, will finish 1, 2, and 3 in some order. That
correct.
Is so. What I'm asking you is, what will that order be?
Okay, now I'm going to do simple logic and then talk about momentum. Simple logic is this: Georgia has 25 commits to this class already, Daniel. That's a lot of commits.
It's a lot of commits.
Texas A&M, Alabama, 21 commits. Still work to be done. They could still add points to it. So logically, I don't think it's going to be Georgia, just based upon number of commits already there. Okay, so Georgia fans, fear not, because we're going to talk about this class, and this class has some very, very.
I don't think you'll need to
special
worry.
players.
I don't think you'll need to worry too much, Georgia fans. But number one class, I do not think is on the horizon.
It's not, but fear not. We'll get to that in a moment.
So it's Alabama then. That's what you're saying, Clint? It's Alabama.
Well,
The perennial legendary recruiter, Nick Saban. It's Alabama.
what if I was to tell you, Daniel, that old Jimbo Crab Legs Fisher, conspiracy, guilty of conspiracy, Jimbo Fisher is going to end up with the number one class in the entire nation at Texas A&M this recruiting cycle, Daniel.
He gonna do it.
He's going to do it, y'all.
And listen, we don't talk about Texas A&M a ton on this podcast because they're not really relevant to us. They didn't beat us this year, for example, and so we didn't need to really talk about them a ton on the pod. But we poke a lot of fun at Jimbo Fisher, right? Because have you ever seen him or heard him speak,
watched him on the sideline?
Anything? But let me just say, just Texas A&M fans, if you're listening, Georgia fans, Alabama fans, whoever you are, Jimbo Fisher's he's not going anywhere in the SEC. He's a problem, and Texas A&M is going to be a problem long term in the SEC. I know right now. Do you remember, Clint? And I'm not saying this is how it's going to go. We're supposed to be talking about signing day, but this is just my little Texas A&M soapbox. Do you remember when Clemsoning was a thing? Do you remember when that term existed, when it was a thing? Okay.
Oh, I do.
Clemson was the butt of every joke because what would they do? They would look like they were going to have a really good team, and then they would find a way to blow it. Do you know who Clemson is in the Clemsoning sense in college football right now? It's Texas A&M. That's who it is. But listen, Texas A&M fans, what happened to Clemson, I think, is coming for Texas A&M. I think Texas A&M's going to be a real problem moving forward in the SEC. Alabama fans should know that already. And I think Georgia fans should pay attention because long term, I think Texas A&M's here to stay. I do think they're giving out that NIL money like nobody's business. I think they're getting all them recruits. So number one class, I agree with you. I think is coming to Texas A&M. I think it's a race for second between Alabama and Georgia, and I think a lot of that is going to be decided on Wednesday. We're going to talk in the next segment about some guys that are going to make a decision on Wednesday between Alabama and Georgia that could decide who ends up with the number 2 class and who ends up with the number 3 class in this early signing period or in this 2022 cycle.
Daniel, it's not even close. Again, y'all get used to watching Aggie fan, and they're miserable fans. Just so you know, they're miserable fans. But get used to it, Daniel. Hey, we're going to come back after this. We're going to talk about who we have in the program on board already that seems like they're going to sign that we need to keep, and who that maybe might go somewhere else that would be devastating to lose, devastating to get over there. But first, Daniel's going to let you know about BetOnline.
Yeah, BetOnline.ag is your online sportsbook expert. Tomorrow, we're going to be back on here giving out some early bowl locks. Bowl season is here. If you are a human being, then you bet on bowl games. That is the fact. Okay, it's not a matter of your nation of origin or your ethnicity or your gender or whatever. If you're a human person, you bet on bowl games. And the place you should go to bet on those bowl games is betonline.ag. They are your online sportsbook expert. They're the place Clint and I trust. And right now, if you go and enter the promo code LOCKEDON, you're going to get a 50% bonus on your initial deposit, which means when you make a deposit, betonline.ag is going to put 50% more right on top of that. You deposit $100, they give you $50 free dollars. You deposit $200, they give you $100 free dollars. All at betonline.ag, your online sportsbook experts. If bowl games are not your thing, college basketball, NBA, you can bet on the NFL, obviously, as the playoffs get ready to get started in the NFL. All of that is there. The NHL, whatever it is, betonline.ag has it. Enter the promo code Locked On and get a 50% bonus on your initial deposit.
Bowl season is here, Georgia fans. Don't know if you know that. Daniel was just talking about it.
I literally just said that. I think they know.
They know. We've been telling you about Prize Picks, and you still haven't signed up. What are you waiting for? In addition to college football action, Prize Picks makes college basketball more exciting. And I'll tell you what, we need more excitement as it pertains to college basketball.
Oh boy, get
Prize
to the
Picks
read, Clint. Let's go.
Prize Picks is daily. I'm gonna cry. Prize Picks is daily fantasy made easy. Prize Picks is the leader in college sports daily fantasy. Offers more college football and basketball props than anyone else in the world. Prize Picks offers any prop you can think of. In basketball, you can play points, rebounds, assists, three made, or how many days Tom Crean still has a job. I don't know if they're gonna give that prop out, but you should try
If they
it.
give you that, take the under. Take the under.
All of our users right now can deposit using promo code Locked On and get 100% instant deposit up to $100. No matter what you put, 0 to 100, they're gonna match that 100% with the promo code Locked On. Put the $100 in, get $100 on top of that. Prize Picks allows mixed sports entry. It has award-winning app in both the App Store and Google Play. Prize Picks is safe and offers fast withdrawals. Don't hesitate. Check out PrizePicks.com. Use promo code Locked On. Go to the App Store. Download the app today. Prize Picks is daily fantasy made easy.
All right, Clint, let's talk about some players that are not yet committed. Should we do that?
We should.
All right. Some players that are not yet committed, and I'm going to run through a list of them that are all scheduled. There's 4 guys I'm going to go through, all scheduled to give a commitment on Wednesday, tomorrow. Okay? So we'll start with 4-star linebacker Shamar James, an Alabama product. And one of the guys, as I said earlier, that is deciding between Georgia and Alabama, nation's number 7 linebacker, top 100 overall, great player from Mobile. All right, 5-star corner, Dalen Everett. This guy is from Norfolk, Virginia. He's deciding between Alabama, Georgia, and North Carolina. North Carolina, a sneaky factor in recruiting lately. I don't know what Mac Brown is giving out in those McDonald's bags, but I can tell you that whatever it is, it's working down in Chapel Hill. So Alabama, possibly a player to watch, but there's another defensive back. Speaking of defensive backs, 5-star safety, Kamari Wilson, nation's number 1 overall safety. Georgia, Florida State, LSU, and Texas A&M are the final 5 there. So there's a Georgia-Texas A&M battle. And then Marvin Jones, edge rusher, number 2 overall edge rusher in the class. And it's Georgia, Alabama, FSU, and Southern Cal with those, with Marvin Jones. So those 4 guys, Clint, you have to pick one to get to land at Georgia. Who are you taking?
Daniel, this is going to hurt a few people that are longtime listeners to the program.
Oh, no.
And it's going to hurt
Don't
them
hurt
because
them.
I'm about to – well, I'm going to say something that I, as a fan, am just sick and tired of in my life, okay? In my Georgia fandom, I'm going to share something that I am personally deciding to it needs to put to an end. And so this is a player that I want. Daniel, if I have to watch one more Forsaken safety lose their coverage,
Okay.
I'm going to snap.
Alabama fans, welcome back to the podcast, because we're now reliving the SEC championship game. And Texas A&M fans, if you're listening, the SEC championship game is a thing that's played in December, and it's between 2 teams in the SEC. One day you'll learn about it. It's not important now.
Look,
you'll never.
I have so many times. Richard LeCount, damn good dog, but I'm telling you, he got lost back there from time to time. Lewis Seen, damn good dog.
Literally will knock a man's head off, Clint. How dare you?
That's true. The name that shall not be spoken, Daniel.
Mm-hmm.
I just
sure.
But now I'm getting Kamari Wilson, who's not just a dude, Daniel. Like,
no, that's
who's alpha dude. Okay, y'all, you don't understand this kid until you see him on film. Okay, I'm gonna list you 6 foot, 200 pound, 5-star. 24/7 got him rated fifth in the state, second in his position, 28th overall. That doesn't do this kid justice. Okay. This is the must get for me. This cat is the absolute must get in this draft class. And I think, Daniel, I think we got a strong, strong chance.
It would be something special if we did. I'm going to go with, I think Kamari Wilson's big because if he ends up at Texas A&M, that's almost a lock that Texas A&M gets that number one class.
It's a lock.
I'm going to go Marvin Jones, and here's why. Because what's the number one rule of recruiting unless you're Dan Mullen? Clint.
It never stops.
The number one rule of recruiting is always be Cruton, Clint. It's the ABCs. You just always be Cruton. You can't be satisfied with 1 5-star edge. Okay? Michael Williams already in the class for the University of Georgia. 5-star edge rusher. You love to see it. But what if I told you, Clint, that we could have 2 5-star edge rushers? You realize Georgia might sign 6 5-star defensive players in this class.
Y'all thought this defense was loaded.
Okay.
I dare you to
give me Big Marvin and let's just go to work. I would love to take him away from Alabama. And
Texas
then
A&M, okay, fine. Maybe one day they'll get there, but
Sure.
Whatever. You can recruit, but take him away from Alabama.
Look, the kid from Mobile is going to go to Alabama. All right. Maybe he'll choose Georgia, but the kid from Mobile is going to Alabama. That's fine. Yeah. But you give me Marvin Jones, and then I feel like that's a pretty good day for the University of Georgia. All right. Let's talk about Michael. Speaking of Michael Williams, we're going to come back and talk about some players that Georgia already has committed. We're not saying any of these guys are a candidate to possibly flip, but we're going to tell you who we think are the most important players to keep, because you can't just rest on your laurels right now if you're Georgia. You got to always be Cruton. You understand?
I was going to say, what's the rule, Daniel? What's the rule?
You always be Cruton, or you be getting fired like Dan Mullen. So that's how it works.
That's how it works. Hey, want to let you know about Omaha Steaks, Daniel. What is a holiday memory that you have about Omaha Steaks, Daniel? Let me regale you. How about just juicy, tender, amazing tasting beef around the dinner table as people around you hate each other openly? What better place?
Just listen, if you're going to be part of an awkward political conversation, this is not part of the copy of the ad read, but if you're going to be part of an awkward political conversation, and let me tell you, you are.
Because it's
would you rather have that conversation eating some nasty holiday whatever casserole that is? Or would you rather be eating a delicious Omaha steak while having that awkward political conversation?
Bacon wrapped filet, please, because if I have that in my mouth, it's going to make me not say anything that's going to get me kicked out of the house. And that's
there you are.
The goal. The holidays around the corner, and finding the perfect gift can be tricky. Omaha Steak makes it easy to send friends and family an unforgettable gift guaranteed to be loved. Go to omahasteaks.com and enter college into the search bar to order the perfect gift package for $99.99. You'll get 24 entrees like the world famous bacon wrapped filet mignon, chicken breast, sides, dessert, and so much more. When you use code COLLEGE, you'll also get an additional 8 Omaha Steak burgers free with your order. We've all heard that reports about shortages in shipping, so don't delay. Order the perfect gift package today at omahasteaks.com, and you'll get 8 free burgers when you enter the code COLLEGE. Achieve gifting greatness at Omaha Steaks. Incredible flavor, incredible value, 100% guarantee. omahasteaks.com, keyword college.
All right, Clint. It's flip season. You understand what I'm saying?
For some
if you're that's true. If you're an Auburn fan, it's transfer portal season. So it's not even
real quick.
Let's take a moment. Let's just take a moment for us. Okay.
Hey Zach, if you're here, Zach, if you're doing I know he's not, Daniel, but let's say he's doing quality control. Okay. Okay. Zach, T's and P's too. I don't know who do you have on your team left?
Thinking about you. just thinking about you, laughing while I'm doing it, but thinking about you, thinking about you. Also, listen, Bobo's coming home. The Bobo name belongs in Athens. So good to have the young man coming home, former Auburn commit, now a University of Georgia commit. All right, let's talk about some players that we really want to keep. We're not saying these players are a threat to flip, but we are simply saying these are the guys. If you had to give me one name, Clint, out of the whole class, if I said you can guarantee a signing from this guy, and you can only give me one name and everything else is up in the air, who you taking?
Daniel, this is nay impossible. Okay,
I'll let you go one offense, one defense. I'll give you my defensive player first, and so I'll give you a second to think about it. If I could choose one defensive player to keep in this class, now there's a lot of them. Okay, you understand what I'm saying? There's a lot of them. You're probably going to name several of them, so I'm not going to list them off. But my guy, Clint, Big Bear. Give me Big Bear. Give me Bear Alexander. Give him to me twice on Sundays because I don't have to explain myself, do I? You need the man in the middle. You need the big man in the middle to cause problems for the defense. And that's exactly who this kid is. He dominates the trenches, and you dominate the trenches, you dominate the game. So give me Big Bear if I can only keep one on defense.
So this is very, very unique to me. I'm going to go with a name that, look, I have eyeballs. I can look at film. I have services I could go look at. But I'm going to go with a name that other recruits keep on bringing up time and time and time again. When I look at these young men, they're talking about potential wide receivers and yada, yada, yada. But, Daniel, why is it that Killebrew keeps on coming up on the lips in the mouth of every single recruit? This defensive back, he's listed as a cornerback. I think he plays some safety. If you're telling me I have a defensive back that the kid looks mean, looks like he's tough as nails, looks like he has bad intentions, and all of a sudden I have this position called star on defense that's pretty vital to how the defense is run, and every other recruit is talking about him, that gets my attention. So my attention goes here. And if it just is recruitment or his ability to recruit other players or excitement of friendship or I don't know what, guys like playing with him and want him to be there. So Marquise Killebrew is my name on defense.
Ooh, I love it. Probably the fourth ranked corner in the class, but rankings don't always mean everything. We know that. I think he's an important piece to, you said, he brings the tangibles, but also the intangibles to this recruiting class. And so I like that pick. Offensive side of the ball, there's an obvious choice, but I'm not going to make it because I'm not an obvious guy.
There's one.
Give me Oscar Delp. If I had to take one guy, it's Oscar Delp. I'm going to take Oscar. Again, his name's Oscar Delp, and that's the guy that I'm going to take. If I had to just take one guy, it'd be Oscar Delp. Listen, can a young tight end come into a program and change everything for an offense? I don't know. You tell me. I've never seen it done, but I'm just speculating that could be a thing that happens. Give me Oscar Delp. Pair him with Darnell Washington and Brock Bowers. He's just a third fiddle on the field. We run in 13 personnel all of a sudden, Clint. We just out here running. Just keep it coming.
Say Todd Monken won't. Say Todd Monken won't.
Todd Monken won't have a choice. He will. He will have to. Give me Oscar Delp, Clint. If you had to choose a different offensive player, who are you going with?
Okay, Daniel, I don't like making comparisons all too much. First of all, let me tell you why I don't like making comparisons. First of all, these young men are their own people. Okay?
There it is.
So when you say he has shades of so-and-so, these young men are their own persona, people. Like, let them be who they are and let that other person be who they are and enjoy them for that. Okay? But Daniel, who's your favorite UGA player of all time?
My favorite UGA player of all time is Nick Chubb. There's
I'm looking at a cat who's 5'10", 220, coming out of 4-star running back. Branson Robinson, out of Mississippi. Look, I don't like running backs by committee.
I almost picked this as my guy. Position of need, Clint. I'm just going to come out and say it. Running back is a position of need because you lose 2 this year.
Gone. Zeus is gone, by the way. 2. All you who don't understand that Zeus is gone, he's gone.
You lose 2 this year, which leaves you with Milton and obviously your boy McIntosh. But we all like Dejan Edwards.
Love Dejan Edwards.
But you gotta have more people coming into the fold. So this is a position of need.
What I understand about this guy is that he's a quiet workhorse. Okay.
Oh, that does not sound like anybody I know.
Branson Robinson to me is, and I know there's Gunner out there, and I understand Oscar Delp would be my choice. I wanted to go outside because you chose Oscar. I would choose him as well. But no, it's Branson.
Look, we're gonna be if you're screaming, we should have taken Gunner Stockton. We should have taken who Michael Williams, whoever it is that's on your mind. We're coming back again on Thursday and Friday. We're going to be breaking down the entire Georgia signing class, offensive players, defensive players. It'll be a 2-day event. John from John Tweet Sports and the Dog Dispatch will be on to give us some insider knowledge about some of these recruits, and we plan to have a great time. So check back in with us then, and we will talk to you guys later. Subscribe to the podcast, download the audio, tell a friend about the show, and we will see you guys tomorrow.